I'm Ashley Martella. Car into several mailboxes. It happened shortly before midnight at CR 763 and Southeast Timber Drive. The car flipped over. They don't know why. 36-year-old Kimberly Moya lost control of it. Charges reportedly are pending. 2 people are busted after authorities raid a Port Charlotte home.
Charlotte County Sheriff's narcotics detectives raided the home on Thursday morning and found 136 grams of marijuana. They arrested 24-year-old Randall Mirasolo and 24-year-old Brian Evans. In the search of Mirasolo's bathroom adjoining his bedroom, detectives found a bucket with 5 glass jars containing marijuana. They also found about $1,700 in cash and a digital scale. A 9mm handgun was located on his bedroom nightstand. A search of Evans' bedroom also found a plastic container with 1 gram of marijuana. I'm Jamie Monticelli.
An autopsy is being performed on the body of a homeless person found in a Bradenton lake today. The body was located by deputies several feet from shore at Lake Condominiums on Lake Bayshore Drive. It was identified as the body of a 56-year-old homeless person from the area. They're withholding the person's name pending a positive ID and family notification. The Port Charlotte campus of Southwest Florida College will have a job career internship fair next Thursday from 4 to 7. Over 40 employers will be there. That's what's happening. I'm Ashley Martella, WENG News.
Here's your WENG 1530 and 107.5 Weather Eye forecast. Brought to you by Medical Gardens Hearing Centers of Inglewood, Northport, and Venice, helping people improve their hearing for over 35 years. Showers and storms are likely here for this afternoon, with mostly sunny skies otherwise and a high near 90 degrees. And for tonight, showers and storms are still likely, mostly cloudy skies and a low near 73. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky. Right now, 90.
Total up all your insurance costs and think, how much could I save a year if I check the ever-changing prices? Think about it. Auto, home, life, business, boat insurance, prices change all the time. How do you know if you're fully covered or if you're paying too much? You need someone you can trust who represents all the companies, not just one. Italiano Insurance is the answer. Voted the Small Business of the Year by the Chamber of Commerce for their honesty, integrity, and superior customer service. Call Italiano at our Boca Grande location, 941-964-0400 for an insurance checkup, and they can look at all your policies and most likely save you big money. They can also spot major holes in your coverage. The last thing you want to hear when your house is flooded or your car is totaled is you're not covered. So just make the call, 941-964-0400, or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Save money, get expert advice from someone you can trust. ItalianoInsurance.com. Offices Tampa and Boca Grande.
If it's breaking news, depend on News Talk 1530, WENG.
I'm Kyle Turner, WENG News. Here's an update to the last release we just had a few minutes ago, as we've gotten a report from the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, and they say that they have more information for us. So the accident is involving an estimated 30 to 50 vehicles in the southbound lanes of I-75 on the overpass at University Parkway on the Manatee Sarasota County line. There's at least one trauma alert to which Bayflight is responding to, and there are at least 2 extrications going on at this time. 10 to 12 patients are being sent to hospitals as well. There's possibly a tanker leaking liquid calcium, which the Sheriff's Office understands is not considered hazardous at this time. That they also go on to say that they understand southbound traffic is being detoured at State Route 70 in Bradenton. The Florida Highway Patrol estimates the interstate will be closed for 3 or more hours at this time. As we are at 4 o'clock now, I would not expect anybody traveling southbound on I-75 to get past there probably before the sun goes down here tonight. Again, there is an accident involving an estimated 30 to 50 vehicles in the southbound lanes of I-75 at the overpass at University Parkway, which is mile marker 213, as I recall, and that's at the Manatee Sarasota County line. And there are extrications as well as a possible tanker leaking liquid calcium. So if you're looking to head south on I-75 this evening or know somebody that will be, please let them know of an alternate route and try to avoid the area. For WNG News, I'm Kyle Turner.
It's breaking news on News Talk 1530, WENG.
Fish on, fish on. This is Captain Chris O'Neill of the Real Saltwater Outdoors Fishing Show. Friday nights are all about fishing, and I invite you to tune into the Real Screaming and Bent Rod crew of Captain Jesse McDowell, Rob Taylor, and myself from 5 to 6 p.m. on our Friday night in-studio show. We're coming right in from our charter boats to give you the insider tips, listener call-ins, and a weekly wrap-up of what's biting and how'd I catch them. Don't forget to come on board and set the hook with us Friday nights from 5 to 6 right here on the Florida Fishing Network, WENG.
I'm Rich Spedaleary, host of Spits on Sports. Join us every Monday through Friday at 6 as we talk sports with you. We'll focus on the local teams, including the Bucks, Rays, Lightning, and Magic, all of the local college teams, and high school sports as well. Spits on Sports brought to you in part by Big Daddy's Burger Den. It's everything you want it to be. So join us every Monday through Friday at 6 for Spits on Sports on WENG, 1530 AM, 107.5 FM, and online at WENGradio.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulf Coast Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Lew Hastings from the Boca Grande Area Chamber of Commerce. And welcome to another Friday edition, Gulf Coast Business Spotlight. In the studio with me today, I have Caroline Clark of Cavana Classic Charters and Randy. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Lou. Thank you for coming in. And I did mention this before we started. I promised our Facebook friends that we would say hi to them on the live link. So look up at the camera and say, hi, Facebook friends.
Hello, friends.
Thanks for joining us. I'm so glad that you guys came in here to talk about Cavana Classic Charters today. I think it's a great, fairly new business, wouldn't you say?
It is. Yeah. We started last season on Boca Grande, and this will be our true first full season on the island.
Right, and why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, about yourselves, and then tell us about Cavana Classic Charters and what it's all about.
Well, I am fairly new to the island. I've been on the island approximately 9 years now, and my home base is actually Birmingham, Alabama. And I started this collection of boats with my husband, Mark. We started collecting several years ago in Birmingham, actually on a freshwater lake called Lake Martin. And the collection grew, and we started moving the boats down here, and we just wanted to share them with our friends and just into the public as well. And the boats are very interesting. They're classic wood boats. We have boats, Chris Craft, Riva Ariston, Manette Shields, Fay and Bowen, several different really cool, very special old vintage wood boats.
And they look great. When you had your opening, your open house at Miller's, I got down there and I got a chance to take a look at those boats. They are awesome looking. They're absolutely amazing.
Thank you. They are beautiful boats, and that's kind of where Randy comes in. Randy takes care of the boats, and he's also one of my captains. So he is an integral part of this whole process that we have going on here in the island.
That's got to be a bear taking care of those boats. First of all, what kind of wood is that?
There's several different woods, a lot of mahoganies, that what you see, and then some, like the Manette, will be a painted mahogany hull.
That's what it looks like. It looks a very rich, mahogany looking, and they're beautiful boats.
The maintenance is endless. It never stops.
I would imagine. I'm so glad that you could find the time to come down here and to do the show. It's got to be certainly a full-time job.
Very busy.
I'll bet. What's the fleet? How many are in the fleet?
Right now we have, on the island, we have 3 boats. And we have 2 that have been in restoration up in New York that are on their way down soon. We just had to have a trailer built for one. That's the Fay and Bowen. It's a 1914 34-foot vessel. It's absolutely spectacular. So it's out of restoration and being shipped hopefully in the next week or 2. But all in all, we have around 10 vessels. We also have a 40-foot San Juan, which is a picnic yacht. And we also have a Yellowfin, which is our flats boat, which is excellent for exploring the skinny waters in and around Boca Grande, Sarasota. We can go to Tampa, just about anywhere. So we've got a little bit of everything for everyone, whether you wanted to take a luxurious cruise on the San Juan, or out for a sightseeing excursion, or for a beautiful sunset on one of the wood boats. We have just a little bit for everyone.
And that was going to be my other question. What kind of clientele is really your target audience? And it really is everybody.
Well, you know, it's different. We have brides that want to use the boats for going away from their wedding or arriving to a wedding at the beautiful Gasparilla Inn. We have clients that want to propose on their boat.
Beautiful boat to do it on, one of those boats, a
yeah.
classic.
And
looking
then we have families that just want to go out to lunch and arrive in style. You know, a little bit of everything. We've had some interesting clients. Randy's had a couple of experiences that he might want to share.
Yeah, I took a family out, and of course we went out to lunch. It was a lunch charter, and we went down to Cabbage Key, which is always fun. It's always a fun place for everybody.
Absolutely.
The food's good, and the atmosphere is incredible, and it's spectacular views. And on the way down, you usually expect to I can get the dolphin to roll usually. I'll spot, and I can usually get them tuned in to get them on the stern of the boat and rolling. And it's a lot of fun, and you get a lot of screaming and picture taking, and it's very memorable for most people. You know, they don't always get to experience this. They usually have short vacations, and you can add something like that. That's going to be the peak of their vacation.
And that's what they look for.
And that's what they look for. So I've had some good experiences with I like the family scene. That's the most fun from young to old. I've had grandpa down to great-grandson, and I had them at the helm with me in the Chris craft on one run. And the little boy was just a million questions, and I love that. And I have him sitting right beside me, so he sees all this stuff. And it was really fun. And then as that Chris craft is a triple cockpit, so the middle-aged kids were in the stern, and you know, they just love that. They're a little bit away from grandpa and grandma, mom and dad, and
right, too cool for everybody else. But there was room for them to be.
But they had their little spot. So
right.
It was really neat. And at the end of we had a great day. And then toward the end of that trip, I didn't get the dolphin going very good. We spotted some, but they didn't want to cooperate. So coming up through the canal, got onto a pod of manatee. And they're just popping up all over the boat. I just shut down, wait. So there's a lot of screaming and hooting, picture taking, very eventful.
I'll bet. Where was the family from?
They were from Washington, D.C., actually.
Never saw a manatee.
Never seen a manatee. Like so it was a great experience, and that's what we really want to offer as, you know, life is about experiences and enriching your day. And that's what we want to provide, is a lot of fun and enrichment. And to see this beautiful, beautiful area of Southwest Florida.
This is the place to do it.
It is.
Not only is it a charter for all different events, it's an experience.
Exactly. We have, the boats have been used in some productions. We had a documentary made down here, and then we had a photographer by the name of Lew Freeman. She was doing a teaching series for photography, and she used the boats, and we had some models down here. And then another really, really cute group that was down were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cheerleaders, and they are doing their 2012-13 calendar and used the boats. So that was a whole lot of fun. Created a little bit of excitement on the island with the guys.
I'll bet. And I remember that was the same week as the Tarpon Tournament.
That's right.
And there's a lot going on, and that was a whole nother lot going on, wasn't it?
It was.
Did they have a good time on the boats?
Precious girls. They were just, what a fun group.
I have not met anyone that didn't they just awe at them all the time.
Right.
Just constantly.
And how many boats did you have for your open house down there at Miller's? You didn't have the whole fleet.
We had 5 there.
Right.
And that included the Yellowfin and the San Juan picnic yacht.
If I remember correctly, and it struck me because I'm actually originally from New York, there's a boat called the Saranac. Am I correct?
No, that's it was from that boat actually came down from there.
Right.
We had Lady Elizabeth and the Patriot, and then you're thinking of the Riva Ariston that we brought down, the 1965 Riva Ariston.
Okay.
And that's where that boat was from. You're correct.
Right. And that's so close to where my family actually still lives. So it was kind of neat for me to see that. And so you have them here. Randy, you're not the only captain. You can't be in a fleet of 10, right?
I'm a captain as well.
I was a captain.
That's right. So how many?
Actually, I have a wonderful group of guys that help me out.
You gotta have a whole staff.
I have the Futches around, and I have Jerry Taylor around, and then I have Mark Lieberman around, and Charlie Coleman's always there to help me out. So I have a wonderful, wonderful group of guys that are on board.
That's fantastic, and these are people who extremely experienced.
Yes,
they know these waters.
Oh yes,
for
this
many
is home
years
for these guys.
And same thing with you, Randy. You've been here.
I've been here since late '78.
Right, so you know these waters backwards and forwards.
Almost every day I can.
Did you have your own charter service as well?
No, I've always shied away from it. I always kept myself. I was raised in a building family, so I was always involved with home building and stuff like that. But I can never stay off the water.
Right.
Just love it.
And this has got to be a perfect gig.
Yeah.
Because it's the upscale. It's
right.
It's these classic boats, and I love them. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Sounds great.
Free publicity is now available for your nonprofit club, group, or civic organization. If you have an event coming up that you'd like to broadcast on 1530 AM WENG or 107.5 FM WENG, send it at least 3 weeks in advance by way of email to psa@wengradio.com. Get the word out to thousands of listeners in the Southwest Plex about your next event. The community calendar is a public service of Viper Communications and WENG.
Englewood's Beyond the Sea restaurant at Route 776 and Spinnaker Road is pleased to announce Mike T's Roy Orbison Tribute Show as the latest in its exciting new Super Club series. See Roy and a special guest perform Pretty Women, Only the Lonely, and all his great hits at Beyond the Sea restaurant for one night only, Friday, October 12th. Sure to be a sellout, so call 474-1400 now to make your reservation. Only $30 for this exciting Roy Orbison show and a complete dinner. Call Beyond the Sea, 474-1400.
Are you constantly searching for good, qualified employees? Does the process leave you frustrated? Newspaper classified ads certainly aren't the answer, and neither are those monstrous job sites, unless you're looking for a high-level executive. The solution is sunplexjobs.com, the newspaper ad of the 21st century. It's simple to use, the results are almost immediate, and it's economical. Post a help-wanted ad on sunplexjobs.com using an unlimited number of words, and it appears for a full 30 days. Plus, you can peruse hundreds of local resumes for drivers, customer service people, engineers, salespeople, construction workers, clerical workers, healthcare workers, and a whole lot more. Forget the newspaper. Find qualified new employees today at sunplexjobs.com. Post a job now and begin receiving resumes within hours, not days. sunplexjobs.com. Long name, amazing results.
It's the start of district play for the Lemon Bay High School football team as they host the Port Charlotte Pirates on WENG Friday with coverage starting at 6:40. You can hear the game on 1530 AM, 107.5 FM, and online at WENGradio.com. Lemon Bay High School football on WENG is brought to you by Southwest Plumbing, Beef O'Brady's of Englewood, The Key Agency, Country Hound Cafe, Myakka Pines Golf Club, Royal Palm Marina, Englewood Community Hospital, the White Elephant Pub, Billy Kimberlin Roofing, and Italiano Insurance. Lemon Bay football on WENG Friday at 6:40.
Welcome back to Gulf Coast Business Spotlight. I'm Lew Hastings from the Boca Grande Area Chamber of Commerce. And welcome back, Caroline and Randy. We're talking about Cavana Classic Charters. And I want to talk a little bit about what you guys, how you fit into the community. I mean, you're so community-minded. Caroline, since I met you, probably a little bit more than a year ago, you constantly come into the chamber and say, what can I do? What can I do? And I know that this was totally off the cuff. Caroline donated a charter, a 2-hour charter on the Patriot for our upcoming golf fall scramble that benefits our scholarship fund out of the chamber. And thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
That is wonderful. This 2-hour charter on the 27-foot Chris Craft, do I have that right?
That is correct.
What can someone expect from that kind of a ride? I mean, it's such a wonderful donation. I want people to know what.
Well, maybe
what
Randy
getting.
can answer that question. Tell them what they can expect.
When the boat fires off, it's very impressive, very throaty, and it gets everybody's attention. And so you're basically going to be in the limelight. You're going to have, I'm sure, several people taking pictures of you, and maybe a little bit of envy. Like, I wish I was on that.
Right, and they're pretty impressive in pictures. I've seen the ad. You took out an ad in the World's Richest magazine last year, and the guys from ROI did it.
Yeah, they did a beautiful job.
Holy smokes, what a beautiful ad, that full-page ad.
They did a gorgeous job. 6 people can go on that trip. Plus our captain, and we will have some beverages if they would like to bring their own glass of wine or something like that. They're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll have soda pop and some water on the boat for them. And Randy will probably be the captain that day, and he will take them for a beautiful sunset trip or a beautiful trip all the way around the island, which is a nice thing to do on a pretty day to circumnavigate Boca Grande.
That's got to be fantastic in one of those boats. And any trouble navigating in that size boat? I mean,
no, I know the area well enough.
I was going to say, you've been doing this.
The biggest issue you'll have to contend with is your weather.
Right.
Mostly weather, what you have to deal with. If it's sloppy out, we're going to stay inside.
I wouldn't take those boats out in the sloppy weather.
Rain day.
But you guys are on the water all the time. I mean, you've seen the sloppiest of weather and the best of weather.
We had the Chris Craft out this weekend. We took him out a couple. Most boats are called she, but this is definitely a he. And we took him out a couple of times this weekend and had a great time on the Patriot.
Is the Patriot like that's the star? Is that the star of your fleet? For pictures,
for me,
and that's the one.
I think so. It's the most attention-grabbing boat we have.
They're all beautiful. Yeah. I mean, they all grab attention.
He seems to be everyone's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Right. These are more. These boats are boats that you want to go out, not fishing on. No. These are not fishing boats. You want to go out.
That's true. And we really are not focused on fishing. We have so many amazing fishing charter captains on Boca Grande. That is not our area, and I send out as much fishing as I can. If anyone asks, I'll refer that out.
As a matter of fact, I know that you were in a fishing competition, was it 2 weekends ago, with Captain Charlie Coleman?
Charlie Coleman.
Yes.
We had a blast. What a man. We had a really, really great time.
And didn't you place?
We did. We were 4th. So I was pretty proud of that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What tournament was that again?
It was the
Invitational.
That's right.
Yeah, it was great. And I was the only girl fishing. They were very nice to let me play.
Very nice.
And we had a delightful time. Charlie's an amazing captain.
And taking part in your fleet, as a captain is great to know too.
Sure.
That you have that kind of varying experience.
Well,
that's fantastic. How can people get to contact you? Do you have a website?
We do. We have a website, CavanaCharters.com, and then of course you can find us in the Boca Grande Chamber of Commerce on your website. And then our phone number is 941-875-4946.
4946. Okay. Give us an idea of what your busy season is and how far in advance should people call to reserve. I mean, these things must book up quick, and especially when we get into season.
Sure. We have a couple of brides that have booked out a year in advance with us, and they're very specific on what they want. But the busy season is about to start up.
It can start any time now. I've already felt it.
Yeah, and we're going to see maybe some Thanksgiving cruises.
Sure.
Some Christmas cruises when people bring the family down to the island.
Absolutely.
I think I need to go on one of these boats. I think I'm going to have to charter you guys
most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe as a surprise. Marion, if she's listening, for my wife, take her on a nice cruise to
We're here for you.
Or something. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Caroline.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We'll have to have you back and give us an update on how your season went.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll be here.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. We'll be right back after the break.
FNN News, I'm Dennis Pavlik. Mitt Romney is arriving in Florida today for a 3-day campaign swing with his supporters here sky high.
We have never seen our volunteers as excited as they are right now. The governor's debate performance, I think, has really energized our base.
Jeff Bechtel is the spokesman for the Romney campaign in Florida. A new Rasmussen report gives Romney a 49 to 47% lead over President Obama in Florida. Romney will be in St. Petersburg tonight, Apopka near Orlando Saturday night, and Port St. Lucie Sunday afternoon. State health officials say the tainted meds that have been recalled because of a meningitis outbreak were shipped to 8 clinics in Florida.
3 of those clinics are in Ocala, and 2 residents of Marion County have come down with the fungal meningitis disease. Jessica Hammonds at the State Health Department says they're looking for more victims.
Infected patients have presented approximately 1 to 4 weeks following their injection with a variety of symptoms, including fever, new or worsening headaches, nausea, and or new symptoms consistent with a stroke.
There have been at least 39 cases in 6 different states, and 5 people have died, but none of those fatalities have been in Florida. Victims contracted the disease after receiving spinal injections for back pain. Rick Flagg, Tallahassee.
There's one person not on this year's ballot who's still creating his fair share of grief, and that's Governor Rick Scott. Scott has been battling poor poll ratings most of his time in office. Now he's turning into a target for those running for the Florida legislature. Democratic candidates have run ads going after the Republican governor on education, property insurance rate hikes, and his push for tax cuts. 5 state correctional employees have been suspended, and a warden has been transferred after an inmate's suspicious death at a North Florida prison. The DOC says a criminal investigation is also underway after an inmate died at the Union Correctional Institution in Rayford last month. With news on the Florida News Network, I'm Dennis Pavlik.
If it's breaking news, depend on News Talk 1530, WENG.
I'm Kyle Turner, WENG News, as we have another little update to the developing story on I-75 southbound at the Sarasota County, Manatee County line. As, again, if you are just now tuning in, there is an accident involving 30 to 50 vehicles in the southbound lanes of I-75 at the overpass at University Parkway. And the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating the accident. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has provided this information here, as the Sarasota County Fire Department has 18 units on scene at this time, with Manatee County Fire Department also providing assistance at this time, and no confirmed number of Manatee County Fire Department vehicles there. All hospitals have been notified of this, so if you're looking to get out of work at a hospital right now, you just might be wanting to stick around here, as there is at least one trauma alert, which Bayflight is responding to. There are at least 2 extrications going on at this time, with 10 to 12 patients expected as well. That number possibly to go up. There is also a tanker that could be leaking liquid calcium, which the Sheriff's Office understands is not considered hazardous. Southbound traffic is being detoured at State Route 70 in Bradenton, against State Route 70 in Bradenton. And the Florida Highway Patrol estimates that this southbound lanes of I-75 could be closed for 3 or more hours. This email was generated at about 4 o'clock, so it does not appear that I-75 will be open until at least the sun goes down today, which will be a little bit after 7 o'clock today. As we get more updates from the Sheriff's Office as well as the Florida Highway Patrol, we will be passing it along. We have the second half hour of the Suncoast Business Spotlight with your host, Lew Hastings, coming up. And if we have any more reports that come in, we will break in with that program, as well as the Real Saltwater Outdoor Fishing Show coming up as well. And we'll be bringing you Lemon Bay High School football at 6:40. I will be on scene at the game, so as soon as I get updates on that, we will be sure to pass it along to you. For WENG News, I'm Kyle Turner.
It's breaking news on News Talk 1530 WENG.
Here's your WENG 1530 and 107.5 Weather Eye forecast. Brought to you by Medical Gardens Hearing Centers of Inglewood, Northport, and Venice, helping people improve their hearing for over 35 years. Showers and storms are likely here for this afternoon, with mostly sunny skies otherwise and a high near 90 degrees. And for tonight, showers and storms are still likely, mostly cloudy skies and a low near 73. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, 91.
Make plans now to sail away with WENG on an all-inclusive cruise February 22nd through March the 3rd to San Juan, Grand Turk, St. Thomas, and Tortola from Fort Lauderdale aboard the Carnival Freedom. This cruise includes all food, all beverages, and the most beautiful ports of call in the Eastern Caribbean. Dig your feet into the sand, float in the clear blue seas, scuba dive with clear visibility. Join WENG February 22nd through March the 3rd. Call Susie Davis Travel now, toll-free, 888-348-3166.
Hi, I'm Ross Crystal, inviting you to join me weekday mornings for Showbiz Express. I'll fill you in on everything happening in entertainment here in Hollywood and around the world. Fast, concise, and yep, with a bit of an edge. It's the news you want to know, and you'll hear it right here on the Suncoast Morning Program with Ken Birdsong. So join me Monday through Friday at 7:55 a.m. for Showbiz Express, right here on WENG, your information station.
Lemon Bay High School football fans, take note of today's varsity player of the game. Treat yourself to lunch or dinner in a relaxing Old Florida waterfront location with a Lemon Bay High School VIP discount good every day until next week's game. Just tell your server this week's Mana's varsity player of the game and get 50% off the second entree of equal or lesser value. Only at Zeke's Bayside Bar and Grill at Royal Palm Marina. You'll also receive discount certificates for boat rentals, repair services, boat restoration, boat storage, bait, and fuel, all from Royal Palm Marina. For the most diverse menu around, Farlow's on the Water is Inglewood's legendary dining experience. Tantalize your taste buds with the freshest seafood and hand-cut steaks. Dine on a variety of whole fish served tableside in their lush tropical waterside garden. Or enjoy house specialties like steak à pauvre and St. Croix crab salad. Locally owned on 776 in Inglewood by Keith and Lori Farlow for 9 years. Go to www.farlowsonthewater.com or call ahead for priority seating. 474-5343.
Welcome back to Gulf Coast Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Lew Hastings from the Boca Grande Area Chamber of Commerce. And this half hour, we have Jason from Taz Tile and Marble. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you came down, and we can talk a little bit about your business. You guys are fairly new to the Boca Grande Chamber of Commerce, but so educate me. How long has Taz Tile been around, and in Inglewood? Let's start there.
We've been in business since 1979, and in this area on this coast, we've been here since 92, I believe. No, 94. So a fair amount of time, and we've spent a lot of time out in Boca Grande. That is a nice staple to our diet, and which we are very grateful for. And we kind of stumbled into the chamber. We've been a member of the Inglewood Cape Hayes Chamber for many years, and even the Venice Chamber. And so it's nice to be a part of the chamber that you do a lot of your business in. So it seems fitting to be down there in the Boca Chamber. So,
and I'm really glad that you guys joined in. And I know your dad's very active in all of the different events that we have and the business-to-business meetings, and he comes to them, and it's great. Where did you start the business, actually, if you moved it to the Gulf Coast? That's an interesting story.
We were originally in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And before I came here to go to high school, to our local Lemon Bay High School, I wanted to move over here because my grandfather moved here. And I just fell in love with the area, and the family kind of all came back over here and said, wow, this is a great place. And it was getting away from the rat race and getting into something that's kind of set back 20 years in time, to what it was over there. So it was a big change, and for business, that kind of seems like that would be a poor business decision, to go from a large populated area to something like Inglewood. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
And it's a testament to, and I love to talk to successful businesses that have been around as long as Taz Tile and Marble has, because you found those challenges and said, you know what, we can overcome those. We know how to do this. We've done this over here in this one coast, and we're trying to get more businesses to either move their business or start here in Southwest Florida to help with our economic recovery.
Right.
And you guys did exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of challenges, if any, did you experience moving over here, aside from it being, not as populated as the
well, I think
Coast?
Part of it would be a little bit of a culture shock, going from the city, the big city, what we would call the big city, to over here. But I think it is, having quality staff. We are also a family business, and we have a rather large family, and a good chunk of us are involved, in the day-to-day of our business. So that is a challenge in itself. Anyone who works with family knows that can be taxing.
Right, or a key to success.
Exactly. I think the nice part about it is, somebody has your back. There's somebody there that's going to pick up the slack, and it gives you the comfort of, just knowing someone's there. And I think a lot of our clients appreciate that. Being in a small town, I think a lot of people appreciate that one-on-one personal attention. I mean, I could give you customers' names from 10 years ago. I know their streets they still live on, and phone numbers haunt me, So it's, I think the challenges would have to be primarily having a really good staff in the office, out of the office, as far as our field supervisors go. And of course, all of our installations, we need to make sure that we have top-notch, high-quality craftsmen doing our work, whether they're, subcontractors that work for us, or if they're employee installers of ours.
And what size is your staff? Out of your office in Inglewood, just let's start there.
I think we are in the neighborhood of around, I would say 10 to 15 employees.
Okay.
So not too big, but it's enough for right now. We are, in the process of we're throwing up different ideas. We are talking about expanding, so that number could be changing.
So a significant business that is adding to jobs in our area, which is critically important, especially in Inglewood and Port Charlotte and our entire Southwest Florida area. Right now, you are involved in a huge project, are you not?
We are. Several projects, but one of them in particular that you're referring to is the Lemon Bay High School project.
Right.
Which is right down the street from our office. We are doing, I think it's a 5-phase project, and they're in the 4th phase, which would be the cafeteria, kitchen, and media center. And so we've been in there for probably the better part of the summer. I think we started in there around the 1st of July. And we're just now wrapping it up. Appreciate the work and everything, but I'm ready to wash my hands of that one.
It's got to be tough working on one project for so long.
It is. It's and we have God bless one of our superintendents who's been out there day in and day out. Has to be at the early meetings. That the commercial work requires that start at like 6 a.m. and you're basically on call all day long, in those projects, and it's a little bit different because the pace is different. There's a lot of variables there. There's a lot of differences from what we're used to doing when we're out in Boca Grande or we're out here, in Rotunda or Sarasota, wherever we're working at, the residential side of it. So it's a whole nother animal, whole nother ball game. But we do that, and we do a lot of government contracting, and we do some commercial work. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do a lot of things for like the VA. They'll do grants to certain veterans, and we get awarded quite a few of those grants or those contracts, and they'll take us to Tarpon Springs or Bonita, or so it could be kind of all. It's more of a regional area, but we do that, and then we do a lot of other commercial work like. We've done Taco Bells and Pizza Huts and Beef O'Brady's, and actually we did a couple years back, we did a hospital in Sebastian, the Sebastian River Medical Center over on the other coast. So the commercial end takes us to quite a few places, which is nice because it kind of a little change of scenery.
I was going to say it's got to break it up a little bit, but I didn't realize that you guys actually take those jobs that are that take you on the road. And does that tax your local staff and your subcontractors a little bit?
It does, yeah, it does. So it's finding that fine line of what we can take and what we can't take. Where that geographical distance is. How far can we kind of stretch ourselves? And that's the taxing part. Because we find every day that everyone plays an important is a vital role. A cog in the wheel here, and when that person's gone, we feel it.
Right, and I would imagine that it takes quite a scheduler to make sure that those projects don't overlap and you don't get stuck in Tarpon Springs when they need you here or on the other coast.
And it happens. It's
bound to happen.
Yeah, it's bound to happen, whether it's on our end or it's on the contractor's end or the homeowner's end. There's always schedule conflicting, and everything looks great up on the board, and then that changes every single day. Which is kind of like the stock market floor, I guess.
It's nice to see, though, a local business that is doing so well. You seem to have regular work. So you're fortunate in that, and that speaks a lot to your staff and the history behind your company. Because you've built up that client base and you've built up that word of mouth advertising where people go, hey, those are the guys you want to do your
exactly. A
your
lot
job.
of our business is our best form of advertising is the word of mouth. It's every project we do, every home we do. It's if it's not done to our quality and our standards, it's it's okay. I want the homeowner, or the contractor we work for to appreciate and like the work, but I'm also thinking about everyone that's going to be walking through that door. Their friends that come in and see their brand new bathroom, and if it, looks crummy, I don't want the homeowner to be like, oh, it looks great, and then their neighbor's like, oh my gosh, who did that job? So it's very important that the product, the final product that we leave is meets our standards, and we do a lot of the contractors that are down in Boca Grande. We do a fair amount of their work, which is repeat customers over and over again. We've built up that clientele, and then a lot of repeat customers. This year they did their living room, and next season they're going to be redoing their kitchen granite, or their pool deck. So we get a lot of that, and we're very grateful for those things. And of course all the new the new projects that we get along the way.
Right, and fortunately also, there are new projects popping up all the time, even in this kind of depressed economy. We are seeing some of that start to build back up.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that.
Yeah, it's, obviously summer months here, is not our season, and I wouldn't have known that. This summer was, a very intense summer.
I know you guys are busy. Every time I called over there, I know it was hopping over there, and I even stopped in the office one day, and you guys were very busy, which great sign.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. I'm grateful we only have 4 lines, phone lines, because I don't know what we do with that. But we're very busy, and season's getting ready to approach, and a lot of the busyness, I attribute to a lot of our work down in Boca Grande, because of the season. A lot of work isn't done during season in a lot of the condos and stuff like that. So it's really nice that we get that opportunity during the downtime, because it helps fill the little gaps that we may need to fill as far as with work. But it's the whole area, the whole community. I mean, our range is basically from Punta Gorda, Boca Grande, as far as south goes, and and then we get up into Sarasota and Bradenton. It's convenient, where it's at least somewhat convenient for us. So, but we are talking about sometime next year opening up another location, further north, something to help make things a little
bridge
bit
that
easier.
gap.
Exactly. Yeah.
And among all of that busyness, you still manage to find time to be part of the community. So even during your slow periods, you're not slow. Whether you're doing something for the chambers or some other charity event, what has your company done? And why don't you just tell, it's time to toot your horn a little bit. Some of the things that you guys have done to help the community, and I know you've done a lot.
There's a few things there that I don't even know happens. That it's my mom is in the office, and she might be supporting a cause that I may know nothing about, but there's several things. I mean, I know recently we just adopted a 4th grade class over at Englewood Elementary School, so we kind of sponsor them, and they sent us, all the students sent us letters, just how appreciative they were of that, which was just really cute, and just a really neat experience there. Other things we do is we help out with Helping Hands. We do have a donation site there at our office, so if people want to drop off canned goods and things like that, or
good to know.
Or whether it's clothing or non-perishable items, we do we donate a lot of our extra tiles and glasses and things like that to the Sarasota and Charlotte County schools. So I know, whether it's the art department or even if it's just local, art centers that come in and look for stuff. But there are other things out there too.
I know you do. We're going to be right back on the other side of the break and talk a little bit more about Taz Tile and Marble. Come right back.
Afternoon. This is Scott Pinkham, financial consultant with Wells Fargo Advisors in Inglewood, with today's closing market comments for Thursday, October 4th, 2012. Markets extended the recent rally today. The Dow closed with a gain of 80 points to finish at 13,575, and the Nasdaq was higher by 14 points to finish at 3,149. The S&P 500 advanced for a 4th straight session as it increased 10 points to finish at 1,461. Stocks gained ground amid Eurozone optimism and after the release of the FOMC minutes. In Europe, the ECB left interest rates unchanged, and its president said he stands ready to start the bond buying program. On our shores, the Fed's policy minutes showed its members were in broad agreement to launch a 3rd round of quantitative easing and vowed to maintain stimulus as long as inflation is under control. Economic data was overlooked. Jobless claims rose last week from a 2-month low, and August factory orders posted the largest decline since January 2009. Tomorrow's jobs report is now in focus, with non-farm payrolls expected to increase by 115,000 in September, and the unemployment rate is anticipated to tick higher to 8.2%. Overall, nearly all sectors gained ground. A rebound in commodity prices helped material stocks outperform, with Alcoa up 29 cents to finish at 907. Financials also staged a rally as Bank of America increased 30 cents to finish at $9.41. Technology had limited gains amid Apple's decline of $5.67 to finish at $665.84. NYSE composite volume totaled over 3.5 billion shares. The NYSE was 8-3 positive on issues and 4-1 positive on volume. The NASDAQ was 2-1 positive on issues and on volume. In fixed income, Treasuries fell for the first time in 4 days, with the 10-year note down 15/30 seconds, pushing the yield up to 1.67%. This has been Scott Pinkham, financial consultant with Wells Fargo Advisors in Inglewood, and if you would like more information, please contact me at 473-4352. Thank you and have a great evening.
I'm Rich Spedalieri, host of Spits on Sports. Join us every Monday through Friday at 6 as we talk sports with you. We'll focus on the local teams, including the Bucks, Rays, Lightning, and Magic, all of the local college teams, and high school sports as well. Spits on Sports brought to you in part by Big Daddy's Burger Day. It's everything you want it to be. So join us every Monday through Friday at 6 for Spits on Sports on WENG, 1530 AM, 107.5 FM, and online at WENGradio.com.
And welcome back to Gulf Coast Business Spotlight. I'm Lew Hastings from the Boca Grande Area Chamber of Commerce. And with me in the studio, I have Jason from Taz Tile. And Taz Tile might not be the name that we want to keep saying over and over again, because during the break, we were just talking about you guys are going over a little makeover right now.
Yeah, we are. Same great company, same great name, just a little bit of a twist. So many people have associated us for years as just Taz Tile. It kind of just rolls off the tongue, which is great. The problem is we do more than just tile. And that kind of is because we started that, when we first started, we came into the business as tile and marble, and then other things kind of developed from there. So we do, with the same company, but, our name that you'll see out there, in our trucks and our signs, billboards, ads, and things of that nature is going to be Taz Flooring and Design, and that is to, encompass everything that we do. We do all phases of flooring and kitchen countertops and design and things of that nature. So it'll may take a little bit of getting used to some people, but the Taz is still there.
And I think it's helpful too to get that in your new name, because it does talk about the breadth of what you do.
Right.
It gets the design in there, and yeah. I think it's a smart move. So we're looking at new logos.
Yeah, you'll see new signage out there.
New website,
new websites, new truck. New signage on the trucks, new signage in the in the projects that we're on. Business cards, everything that's out there is going to all have the new signage. So in the new logo, new name.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. What projects do you have coming up now that you're just about to wrap up the high school
season?
Right, the non-season that you're not supposed to be busy in. What are you looking at coming into the fall here?
There's going to be quite a bit of, obviously the snowbirds are coming down, so we have a lot of anticipation with that. I do have, a lot of irons in the fire. We do have a stack, a very large stack of, proposals and estimates that we've put out there that are going to be coming for this, this season, and through the first of the year. So, that's going to be a big chunk of it. Commercially speaking, there's other things on the horizon. Like I said, we do have a few more Taco Bells, and we also supply stone to all the Outbacks, across the country, which is nice. So we are the premier location where they buy that stone. So anytime you're in an Outback and you see all their exterior facade stone, you'll think of us. We provided that product. So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so there's a lot out there, and remodeling is always happening. Every day people are coming in, and they, I think the big thing is with the market, people are really starting to take an interest in their own homes. Instead of necessarily flipping them or renting them out and things of that nature, they're turning their houses into homes. So they're starting to put their own, their own mark on the house, which is fun too, because we get to deal with that and help people, turn their dreams into a reality. So I that's something I know that the sales staff really likes to do.
That's got to be very satisfying that you help somebody actually realize their dream home. When they buy their home and they go, it's almost the way I wanted. And then here you guys come along and say, well, how about we tweak this here? and you've made it exactly what they were
Absolutely.
envisioning.
And anyone who's done that to their own home, and hasn't necessarily just bought a home that was already done and completed and they move into it, it doesn't have that satisfaction of doing something that's really yours, your touch on it, because you may walk in and say, well, I would have done this a little differently, and that gives you the opportunity to do it, and we help you along that way and help you do it. So it is very gratifying, and it's fulfilling. It's nice to see people happy, and when people come in and say, I love it, the job's great, they'll thank Jackie or Joe or whoever was in the office that helped them with their selections and get them to that point. And, the superintendents, they want to pat them on the back. And then, of course, our installers, just their attention to detail and their craftsmen.
It's almost an easy transition from contractor to you actually have a personal relationship, a friendly relationship with your customers, because it's very personal.
Absolutely.
You're helping them develop their home into something that they're going to come home and look at every day, or their business even.
Absolutely.
So it's a relationship building process that makes them come back to you time and time again and refer you to
and some of which we've developed relationships with, whether it's through our builders and contractors or through the homeowners themselves. We've established relationships that we go out on the boat together, or you're friends with, you hang out with on weekends, or so it is neat, and I think that's one thing that is that makes that happen is the fact that we are in such a small, tight-knit community, where it's that's a really nice quality to have.
Right, and that just expands your extended family, as it were.
And I'm a huge advocate for supporting local, as I'm sure you are and everyone else is around here. Just keep everything as local as you can, and it helps build those bonds, and it helps strengthen our own community here. And,
Absolutely.
Instead of going outward, just keep it local, and then we can go out from there.
And that's why I want people to hear from successful businesses like yours, so that they know that it can be done and that we exist. It only makes us all stronger.
Absolutely.
How can people find you? What's your website?
Our website is www.tazflooringdesign.com. And we're on Placida Road at 2615, and we're there Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, and on Saturday from 9 to 3.
Fantastic. Jason, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
WENG Inglewood, 1530 AM and 107.5 FM in Northport.